Good morning and welcome to Changing the World with God and with Good. Well, for about 5 or 10 minutes or so, I get to share God with you, sharing with you His simple truths for humanity. Simple truths, universal truths that transcend all of the human labels that are known to man. The words that I speak, they should apply to you, whether you are black, white, Christian, Muslim, Jew, Palestinian, young or old, male or female, because the words that I speak to you are words that are not religiously biased. They're, the words that I speak, again, they are words that, cut across all political parties. They're not gender biased. They're not ethnic biased. They're just simple kingdom characteristics and simple truths that God has inspired and given for all of humanity. And for just a moment, I want to talk from the subject, the prayers of the righteous. The prayers of the righteous. And we're told that the prayers of the righteous availeth much. And this, I believe, is true, but I also believe that just as the prayers of the righteous availeth much, that the thoughts, the words, and the actions of the righteous availeth just as much. I think that, again, we've got to certainly not discount the effect of our prayer life. We mustn't discount the communication that transpires when we are in communication with God. But what we must understand about our prayers is that our prayers are not intended to be a begging session. They're not intended to be a moment where we go to God with all the things that we desire, all the things that we want, all the things that we have need of, because the Bible tells us that God knows our needs before we ever ask of them. So our prayers, the prayers that availeth much, are the prayers of thanksgiving, the prayers of gratitude, the prayers that says to God, I'm truly thankful for all that you do in my life, in spite of the storms that come my way, in spite of the difficult days that I have to endure. I am grateful. I am thankful that I have the use of my limbs. I'm thankful that I have people that love me. I'm thankful that I can be in my right mind enough to even say thank you, and I'm grateful for all that you do. So the prayers, those prayers, I'm here to tell you, do availeth much. See, there are prayers of thanksgiving, prayers of gratitude, not prayers of gimme, not prayers of I need, not prayers of I want, not and again, I want you to understand now that again, we mustn't take what I'm saying and think that we're not to ask God of the things that we desire. But again, we are to know that God knows the things that we have need of before we ever even ask of Him. So our prayers are to be prayers of thanksgiving, prayers of gratitude, prayers of appreciation. Yes, we should pray when we're in need of money. And believe that the prayers of the righteous availeth much. Yes, we should pray. Yet I just believe that in recognizing that the prayers of the righteous availeth much, I just believe that we should recognize that the thoughts, the words, and the actions of the righteous availeth just as much. And that we should do what we can to acquire the things that we want, whether those things be money. If they be money, then we've got to get to a place where, I've heard it say, you got to pray like everything depends upon God, but you got to work like everything depends upon you. You've got to, again, recognize that your thoughts, your words, and your actions availeth just as much as your prayers. And God is looking for you to do some of the things that you're asking Him to do for you. And I hope that I'm talking to somebody, and I don't mean to offend anyone this day. I'm just here to say that there's so much that we could be doing, that God expects us to do, that we are allowing it to a situation of chance. We're dependent upon our prayers creating the things that God is saying that we are to be creating. I hope that somebody hears me this morning. You see, we've got to, because there are people that are in need of money, but it's our responsibility to create a storehouse where there is money, a storehouse where when there is a need to be met, that we have the adequate resources to be able to meet those needs. Again, we've got to understand that our thoughts, our words, and our actions availeth just as much as our prayers. Yes, we should pray for healing. Yes, we should pray for healing. The Bible says that you have not because you ask not. So yes, we should pray for healing, but we should also do our part in preserving and taking care of our bodies, not putting foreign objects in our bodies, not degrading and desecrating our bodies for money, not allowing a man or a woman to mistreat us in our bodies and cause physical harm to our body, cause the disease in our bodies. See, we've got to get to a place where we allow God to see us doing our part. We've got to do our part and not just expect Him to do it all for us. Yes, the prayers of the righteous availeth much, but the thoughts, the words, and the actions of humans availeth just as much. We've got to, yes, in praying for our healing, I'm certainly not telling you not to pray for healing, but what I'm saying is, you've got to go to the doctor and take care of yourself and let them begin to show you how to better care for yourself. You can't just leave it and expect God to do things that you're not willing to do for yourself. And certainly, I'm not saying that you're not doing what you can do. I'm just here to tell you that just as the prayers of the righteous availeth much, so do the thoughts, the words, and the actions of the righteous availeth. Yes. We should pray for a breakthrough in our relationship, for a breakthrough in our family. We should pray for better communication with our mates. We should pray for better communication with our children. We should pray for better communication with our siblings. Yes, we should pray for better understanding when we're dealing with our family members. We should pray for a synergy, a harmony in our family, in our homes, in our interactions with one another. But I'm here to tell you, beloved, that just as praying produce results, I'm here to tell you that your thoughts, your words, and your actions availeth just as much as your prayers. Because, see, there are some things that God expects us to control. God has given us dominion, and He's given us the ability to use the dominion. This is why the Bible also says that in all your gettings, get knowledge and get understanding. Why? So that you understand the words to use to create synergy, so that you understand the actions to engage in to create better understanding and better communication with your mate. See, God ain't gonna do it for you. You've got to do some of these things for yourself. And I'm here to tell you that your thoughts, your words, and your actions availeth just as much as your prayers. See, because again, I'm here to tell you that your prayers aren't to be a request session. They are to be prayers of thanksgiving, gratitude, and appreciation for all that God has already and is currently doing for you. Yes, we should be prayerful because the prayers of the righteous availeth much. Yes, we should be prayerful. But again, our prayer should be thanks, appreciation, gratitude that we have strength in our bodies. Yes, we should be prayerful and thankful and appreciative and grateful that we're in our right minds and we have the capacity to recognize that we are created spiritual beings connected to the source of life. and that we have a connection with that source that allows us to be able to pray and communicate with that source. Yes, we are to be prayerful because those prayers availeth much. But yes, we should be praying and being thankful and grateful that we have the use of our limbs. And with the use of our limbs, we're able to move back and forth across the earth doing God's will. See, yes, we should be praying, and the prayers of the righteous do indeed availeth much. But I'm here to say that you've got to understand, beloved, that your thoughts, your words, and your actions availeth just as much. Just as much. Again, there are some things that we should be prayerful of, but then there are some things that we must get about the business of doing ourselves. We've got to get about the business of doing some things for ourselves. You've got to realize that God, the Bible tells us that God helps the person that helps himself. Well, I'm here to frame the message by helping you to see that in helping yourself, you help yourself with your thoughts, your words, and your actions. So that God might see that you're doing all that you can. So that when you've done all that you can do, then you turn it over and ask him to do what you're unable to do. See, and then you got to take it one step further and realize that God also blesses those that bless others. And then you've got to ask yourself, will I bless others? Will I be grateful? Will I be thankful? Will I be appreciative of the fact that I have strength in my body? I'm in my right mind. I have some resources to be able to help others, and recognize that, yes, the prayers of the righteous availeth much, but my thoughts, my words, and my actions availeth just as much. And God blesses me when I bless others. Will you let your thoughts, your words, and your actions availeth just as much in the ears and the nostrils and the sight of God as you expect your prayers to avail? Will you? Will you? See, I've asked you, not many times, but I've asked you to donate to my GoFundMe page, not for my glory, not that I might be puffed up or made rich, but so that our thoughts, our words, and our actions can availeth much in creating a storehouse that allows us to begin to meet the needs of those that may be praying for money, may be praying for a breakthrough, that we might be able to put people in place, whether they be counselors, whether they be whatever, so that when there's a need that arises, that we've got a community that is willing, that has the resources to be able to sow and to pour and to minister into the people that are in need. And yes, I've stopped asking because, again, I'm not going to beg you. And I realize that it's not about my glory. So again, just as I said to you, just as much as your prayers availeth, the prayers of the righteous availeth much, well, my prayers availeth much as well. Not only that, but my thoughts, my words, and my actions availeth just as much. And I recognize that instead of begging you for it, I can allow my thoughts, my words, and my actions to help me to create what God has created for me to do. You see, I recognize that, again, there's things that we must go to God to do, because just in our physical strength, we don't have the strength to be able to do alone. Yet I also recognize that there's so much power that is untapped that God has given us, that we're not utilizing for His glory and for the sake of others, because we're expecting Him to do things that He's expecting us to do. So then I ask you again, will you allow, just as you believe the prayers of the righteous availeth much, will you allow your thoughts, your words, and your actions to availeth much in helping to change the world for God and for good? That's the question. That's the question I leave you with this morning. I love you. I thank you. And until next time, goodbye.